On YouTube, I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is Monday. It is September 8th. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? We are now entering week 3 of the college football season following Alabama's 73-0 victory over Louisiana Monroe. Today on the show, got a great show lined up for you. Today, we're going to talk mostly, we'll kind of recap the roster, right, after 2 weeks, what we've seen from the guys. We'll talk about roster risers. I want you to be thinking about guys on the team that seem to be, rising early on in the season, and guys really that are going to be too hard to keep off the field. The abundance of talent, before I get started, is something that really stuck with me against the week 2 matchup, right? You agree with me? Inside the comment box, thumbs up if you do. I feel that after seeing all these young guys play, man, it's like it makes me even more optimistic about the future. And I kind of keep going back to Matt from Mobile's call a couple weeks ago. He's like, or I guess about a week ago. It seems like this is a year-long season already, right? We're only entering week 3. But Matt was like, more time. And can you imagine? So more time, however you feel about Coach Kalen DeBoer, I'm sure you feel better about him today. But imagine where these young guys are going to be at even next year, right? Like, I saw a lot of young guys that have extremely high ceilings. And I don't know how much more they'll play this year or whatever, but the abundance of talent is there, man. These guys recruited the right pieces. Can we agree on that? Now, I get it. There's still a lot of questions that we have. We understand the schedule that is coming our way. We understand the road games that are on the schedule. But in terms of, like, did you have any issues with, like, the freshmen not being, like, the guys that we thought they're going to be? I'm like, damn. It can't even imagine. Yeah, exactly. The future is bright. 100%. The abundance of talent is raw. So they're getting the right guys. The class of 2026 is also big time as well. So they're recruiting the right guys. There's a couple other things that they need to fix. And questions are going to be answered. Can they stop the run? Can they win on the road? What we saw was a perfect game against Louisiana Monroe. It happens. And I don't care who it's against. You got it. Like, whether it's at practice, that's the biggest thing, is the things I've seen kind of, after the games are like, well, it's against Louisiana Monroe, 17 for 7. You can't even go 17 for 17 at practice. You can't even go 8 of 10. Like, that would be notable at practice. The opportunities that you get going 4 of 6, that would be notable. You know what I'm saying? So you execute against the opponent. And what they did on Saturday was a huge step forward. And I understand the opponent and all that stuff, but it's about execution. It's about intensity, right? You guys see the clip of Tim Keenan going to fire up Coach Kalen DeBoer. We'll talk about that in just a second. So good morning to everybody. And kind of, I wanted to gauge everybody's level right now is, like, what's on your mind as we enter Monday? One of mine is, like, how good is this team? You know what I'm saying? Like, how good is Florida State? How good is this team? Because week 1, week 2, you make the biggest change from week 1 to week 2, according to the GOAT. So how good is this team? I don't know. Was that the floor that we saw against Florida State and the ceiling that we saw against Louisiana Monroe? Are they somewhere in the middle of that? I don't know. They open up as a 20-point favorite against Wisconsin. Clearly, that win, regardless of who it was against, got everybody's attention. I think Ty Simpson got everyone's attention. I know everyone's talking about the other quarterbacks because it was exciting. Who wouldn't want to talk about a 6'6" quarterback with a cannon? Who wouldn't want to talk about a 5-star freshman, right? But in terms of, like, what people saw from Ty Simpson, as soon as they saw him operating Ryan Grubb's offense, as soon as they saw Alabama playing with more intensity and energy on defense, I think people were like, okay, this looks like the team that we thought they were going to beat regardless of the opponent, because these guys are executing at the highest level. See what I'm saying? I talked about the abundance of talent. That's probably one of my biggest things right now is I'm like, man, the cupboard, right, is completely full of absolute ballers. And then, did I get this right at the back end? Cautiously optimistic. You like slowly going into week 3, like, okay, I believe but you're like, you still kind of, you're crossing your arms a little bit. You're like, okay, let's see it against Wisconsin. And then if they beat Wisconsin, you'll be like, okay. Then you have a week, 2 weeks to get ready for the big one in Athens, all right? So I appreciate you guys being here. Some news that just came out. Chris Washington Jr., if you follow the basketball squad, Nate Oates does an amazing job, as you know. Just landed a 4-star prospect, 6'8", 190 pounds. He's committed out of Florida. Do you see this? Nate Oates, I've met him a couple times. Truth be told, my daughter knows him more than I do because, you know, friends or whatever. I'm a girl dad. He's a girl dad. You can put those two together. And he's a dad first. He's a coach. And look, the thing that I want you to really do is, like, appreciate Nate Oates because, man, this guy, since he got here, basketball is like the highest it's ever been. I love watching the basketball team. I love how they play. I love the intensity that he has. You can go over a million different things. I know it really hasn't worked out for them, you know, in the last couple of tournaments, but man, this basketball team, Alabama fans love Alabama basketball, plain and simple. And Nate Oates, clearly the right guy for the job. He recruits at a very high level, coaches at a very high level. So Chris Washington Jr. Has committed. That was earlier this morning. North Alabama Storm Chase sent in this graphic this morning, and it looks like it's gonna be hot AF this weekend, right? You got a game time. I saw it. It looked like it was gonna be hotter. I actually 88. Okay, September's a hot month, right? You agree with me? September is like a sneaky hot month. So for the tailgate, about 80 degrees. For the kickoff, it looks like 88. And for the fourth quarter, 93. Yo, this game's going to be hot. At 11 a.m. on ABC. I know a lot of people have been asking about the game. So 11 a.m. How we feel about 11 a.m. games? The team practices in the morning. So if everyone's like, how are they going to play in the morning? Well, they practice every morning. You know, like they're practicing right now. In fact, you'll get Coach Kalen aboard today, Ryan Grubb, and Kane Walmack up at the podium. I'll upload those videos, you know, right after they are done on this YouTube channel. Let me see who's up in the house today. We got a good crew that is here. We got KTK. Good morning to you. I appreciate it. Alyssa. Hey, the names are fixed. How does this keep happening? Max Tooney, what's up? Herman, good to see you. Tonette, turn up, what's up? Eric, good to see you. No Filters, Chris from New Jersey, as always. We got Rocketown, we got Bama Steel, we got Amanda Jane, we got OC Dobbins, we got North Alabama Storm Chase, we got Andy, we got Herman, we got Mindy, Miss Careless, we got Sean the Explorer, we got Byron, we got Robert Bradley Jr., we got Double M up in here, we got Anna. What's up, Anna? Good to see you. We got Micah. We got Paul Kirk. What's up, Paul? We got Tom Cook. We got Miss Debbie. What's up, Debbie? Good morning to you. We got Money McGee. We got Blake. We got Seth. We got Richard. We got Kyle. We got Javion. We got Cook. We got Nicole Covington, too. And K-Dub. What's up, man? All right. Strong crew in on Monday morning. You feel better this Monday going into this week than you did last week? Told you. The sun come out tomorrow, right? God bet your bottom dollar. Today's raffle, right? This is extension from kickoff. So, and it's any type of jersey that you want, right? So $10 to get in, up to 3 opportunities. You want a player, you want, I don't know if athletes sort of have players from the past, but anybody on the team. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are rising right now. You know, you look pretty good walking around with the Lazier Brooks jersey, in my opinion. Ty Simpson right here, man, 17 to 17. Yo, that's a nice jersey to rock. So the way to get into the raffles, Bama_YouTube, Cash App, Bama YouTube. Super Chats also will get you in the raffle, $10 or more, all right? Julio Garcia, what's up, man? Coming to us from Dothan. Man, I haven't been to Dothan in a minute. I don't think I went to the beach this summer. Man, that's sad. I didn't go to the beach this year. That's crazy. I just thought of that. All right, NFL. Post your NFL team inside the comment box. I want to get familiar with your NFL teams. All right, so post your NFL team inside the comment box. We have to lead off with this crazy game last night. Who watched this game? This was probably one of the best NFL games and one of the best endings that we've seen. This game, the Ravens, like, I cannot believe that the Titans gave away Derrick Henry. Now, good for Derrick Henry and good for Ravens fans. Derrick Henry still the best running back, right? Well, you could probably argue Saquon Barkley, but my goodness. The king is the king. He literally put this dude in the dirt. 18 carries, 169 yards, and 2 tutties. They still lose, though. If you had Josh Allen on fantasy football, I think he had like close to 40 points. So the Ravens lose 41-40 to the Bills. Man, these teams in the AFC, absolutely, man, they're tough to deal with, 100%. Other games in the NFL, it was interesting to see this guy. Aaron Rodgers, pretty interesting dude, right? Pretty out there. But he threw 4 touchdown passes. I highlight him because he's 41. I'm 41. This dude's in the NFL, right? The Colts beat up on the Dolphins. My goodness, man, they cannot get Tyreek Hill the football. As mentioned, the Steelers beat the Jets. You got Jaguars beating the Panthers. Tough day for Bryce Young. Cardinals beat the Saints. You got the Commanders over the Giants. You had the Buccaneers beating the Falcons. I thought Michael Penix Jr., he looked pretty good. I watched that game in its entirety. The Bengals able to beat the Browns. The Raiders, Brock Bowers looks like he could be out with the knee. The 49ers, I have no idea how the 49ers were able to win this gritty game against the Seahawks. It seemed like they were in the red zone the entire time. By the way, George Kittle also out. Jawan Jennings also out. If you play for the 49ers, you're going to get banged up. 17-13, they beat the Seahawks. I think Josh Jobe had an interception in that game. Broncos beat the Titans. Cam Ward had 2 points on fantasy football. Packers, man, this team is good. Green Bay Packers are pretty tough. They're able to beat the Lions 27-13. And then the Rams beat the Texans in D'Amico Ryans, right? 14-9. Tonight, this next message is sponsored by Sleeper, right? This is a way to get your picks in. I play Sleeper. I use it all the time, especially for my fantasy football. So tonight, you can do like more or less. So help me out inside the comment box if you follow the NFL. I got Justin Jefferson. Do you think that Justin Jefferson will score a touchdown tonight? Type yes or no inside the comment box. I'm going to say yes for Justin Jefferson, one of the best receivers in the NFL, catching a tutty. As far as Swift catching more than 17 yards, well, they got a new offensive coordinator. I'll probably take more as well. And then Caleb Williams. How you guys feeling about Caleb Williams throwing for 217? I don't know about that. I'll say more. So I got 3 mores on here. Justin Jefferson with a tutty, Swift for more than 14. I could see him catching like a screen or something like that, and then give me Williams for more than 217. So that's by Sleeper. Use the promo code RTR. So if you want to get into the more or less, you can get in, and you can up to $100. You get a 100% match. Terms and conditions apply. It's available in 25 states. It's something that I use all the time. I use it tonight on the game as the Vikings and the Bears kick off on Monday Night Football, right? So get your more and less. I love playing more or less, and I love doing it for college football and for NFL football. Remember, terms and conditions apply. Use the promo code is RTR, and they are the sponsor of the channel. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And Sleeper is dope. The fantasy football, if you do Sleeper with fantasy football, it is it's absolutely fire. All right. As we move on, in the news, all right, you got the players of the week. So here we got the players of the week. If you can't see them, I'll read them out for you. So you got, and this is a graphic created by the University of Alabama. Ty Simpson, all right, of course, 17-17. You better be a player of the week. A lot of people were really impressed with Cam Dewberry, right? Good execution from the offensive guard. This is one of my favorite guys. And we were talking about MJ Cherwig, the wide receiver. MJ Cherwig, look, do these guys not look almost identical? They even got the same hair. But the thing is, MJ Cherwig looks a little bit more diesel than Cole Adams. So MJ Cherwig, he caught a touchdown pass from Keelan Russell. And Cole Adams also caught a touchdown from Keelan Russell. But he had that long punt return. You know what was crazy? He was almost like clotheslined. Did you see this? This guy, I like this guy. Step brother. Yeah, these dudes look the same. All right, Bray Hubbard on the defensive side, great bounce back week for him. James Smith, great bounce back week for him. I saw him in the backfield literally the entire game against Louisiana Monroe. You got Colby Peavy on defensive scout team, and then Peyton Fox for special teams. So those are your players of the week following Alabama's. This score is still crazy to me, right? 73. Look, these dudes they got pipes on them, huh? All right. I wanted to talk about this viral clip that is going around with Coach Kalen DeBoer and Tim Keenan and try to put some context to it. Has anybody seen this inside the comment box? Okay. So this was before the game against Louisiana Monroe. You have Tim Keenan, and what you see right here, what is this called? This is called a captain's patch. Now, if you saw the clip, he comes up to Coach Kalen DeBoer in the pregame, and he's very animated, and he's telling Coach Kalen DeBoer something in his headset. We don't know what it is. You'd have to be a lip reader, and Coach Kalen DeBoer is there on the sideline, and he's just kind of in agreement with what Tim Keenan is saying. A lot of people have tried to spin this out to say, like, Tim Keenan was attacking coach or something like that, or who knows. They were trying to take it a negative town. I don't think so. I think that Tim Keenan, being a captain, clearly he wasn't available, dealing with the tightrope injury. But I would wager to say that Tim Keenan has Coach Kalen DeBoer's back, okay? And let's face it, Tim Keenan is an in-state guy. This is why this is so important. Let me tell you why. Because Tim Keenan was not recruited by Coach Kalen DeBoer, okay? Tim Keenan had an opportunity to leave when Coach Kalen DeBoer got here, right? He's an in-state guy. He chose to stay, okay? Tim Keenan is already a graduate. Tim Keenan is a captain of the team, which is voted on by the players. Tim Keenan has Coach Kalen DeBoer's back. And I guarantee you, it wasn't to negative town. I guarantee you, he was like, you know what? We believe in you, Coach. We got your back. Go out and execute and show us what we know you're capable of. And I guarantee you, that was the talk. I guarantee you it was more of a supportive talk. And I love to see it. I love that type of leadership. And I think that this clip really tells you a lot about the leaders. And remember, I know this is crazy, but remember when I asked ChatGPT last week, I was like, why are you so confident that Alabama makes a return? And it pointed to the leaders on the team. That's the crazy thing. It said proven leaders on the team. It pointed to like Ty Simpson, Tim Keenan, Jam Miller, right? It pointed to those type of guys. You see the leadership of like someone like Journey Bernard, Parker Brailsford. I have no idea what happened at the player meeting. Somebody said that even Coach Kalen DeBoer might have went to the player meeting, right? This was after the loss. But this guy is not a negative person. This dude is fire. This is that alpha type energy. I think, now I know this will probably go down as one of like those Tony Brown type clips. Remember when a captain, Tony Brown wasn't a captain, but you know what I'm saying? He would walk. He kind of had that energy, that alpha energy about him. Well, this is what Tim Keenan's doing right here, and I guarantee you it wasn't negative. I would imagine strongly that it was in support of Tim Keenan. So love to see it, not mad about it. It's different for sure. I don't think, you'd see somebody doing this to, Coach Saban. But look, you clearly saw what happened on Saturday, and you clearly saw how these guys were walking into the stadium on Saturday. That image, that picture of the Walk of Champions, that's burnt in my mind because those players were pissed off for everybody. Nobody was smiling. These guys were absolutely dialed in. Maybe this is kind of the catapult to them being a buzzsaw. And I understand the schedule that they're about to play. I'm just saying I absolutely like this. Tim Keenan, that wears that captain patch very well. I've always been a fan of him. And not mad about it at all. So that's my little take on Tim Keenan, chirping to Coach Kalen DeBoer. The AP Top 25 came out. Oh, Seth, I can't play like the clip because copyright. ESPN is all over me for everything. Because the channel got, it's a little bit larger. So if it's Catapult who owns the footage. So if I play any type of footage, I get an email, and then they could, obviously do bad things to the channel. So I could show a screenshot and like talk about it, but I can't show the clips. And if you say copyright, no, it's not copyright. You dealt with like the big guns when your channel gets really big. No, it's not. They can do whatever they want. It's their footage. This is the AP Top 25. I'll go full screen, and you have Ohio State still clearing away the number 1 team in the country. I don't think that there's right now a close number 2. Teams could maybe close that gap, but I think far and away they are the number 1 team. You got Penn State. I feel I'd have to see more of Penn State. I'm not buying them. What's up, Big Matt? Good to see you inside the comment box. You got LSU, who they have at number 3. Oregon at number 4 after putting up 60 points against Oklahoma State. You have Miami. Miami and you know what? Miami and South Florida play this weekend. It should be a hell of a game. You got Georgia, who is taking on Tennessee. Should also be the college football slate is really good, to be honest. You also have Texas, Notre Dame, Illinois, Florida State, South Carolina. That's kind of your 1 through 11. Alabama moves up 2 spots. They are now number 19 from number 21. You know who I'd like? This would be a pesky team to play right now for Alabama. I was saying that yesterday on their evening show, South Florida. They do everything that we need to stop, okay? The quarterback can't throw the ball that well, but no, Big Matt, South Florida's good, bro. Alex Gollish, that's a hell of a coach. They're pesky, and that quarterback is tough to take down. I would like to see Alabama and South Florida play. That would be much more entertaining to me, in my opinion, than this upcoming game against Wisconsin. I don't know. Am I wrong on that? They're tough. And I think they'll play Miami tough too. Clemson struggled surprisingly with Troy. That was kind of a weird game. And then this Oklahoma team, I'm buying Oklahoma stock. I'm trying to gas them up a little bit so maybe they can get some rat poison. This is how I have my rankings right here in the SEC. What do you think about them? So I have Texas, LSU, Oklahoma, Georgia, South Carolina. I had Bama out. Now I have Bama at 6 over Tennessee, A&M, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt. I know there's a lot of people that feel Texas is overrated. I don't think so. They might not be as good as we thought they were going to be, but I think they played the number 1 team on the road, and it didn't work out for them. I don't think it would work out for anybody else in the country, to be honest, right? Blake's talking about Vanderbilt. I know nobody's going to talk about Vanderbilt, and that's just fine. You know what? That's dangerous because that Vanderbilt team, they got guys. They really do. We understand that. The great thing for Alabama is that game is at Bryant-Denny Stadium this year. So is Tennessee, so is LSU, so is Oklahoma, right? But you do go on the road to Georgia, South Carolina. Those are tough games. Auburn. I guess Auburn isn't ranked in the top 25, right? Are they? Maybe they were 23, 24, 25. I didn't put the other teams in. I don't know. They beat Baylor. I don't know. So I don't even, maybe Auburn should be better than Vanderbilt. I don't know. But I do feel that Texas is still a pretty good football team, right? Until I see otherwise, I think Texas will be a good football team. Here's the college football slate for the SEC. You have Oklahoma taking on Temple. The slate is much better. This last weekend, the only game that we had was the Bama game, clearly. South Florida, Florida, and then Oklahoma and Michigan, right? Oh, thanks, Nicole. I appreciate it. Oh, someone said Auburn is 24. Okay. I figured they'd be in the top 25, to be honest, right? But the college football slate is pretty good. Here's a look at the SEC. So you have Oklahoma taking on Temple. You have Wisconsin taking on Bama, right? You have what's up with this hair? You have South Florida taking on, oh, there you go, number 24, Auburn. You got Georgia taking on Tennessee. Is there anybody that thinks that maybe Tennessee beats Georgia? That would be interesting, because if they're able to do that, I don't think that, takes away any luster from Georgia, Alabama here in a couple weeks. But in terms of ranking value, I kind of want Georgia to be like a top 5 when Alabama plays them. Because if Alabama is able to beat Georgia on the road, that really catapults Alabama back, in terms of branding, rankings, playoff talk, all that sort of stuff. Some people a lot of people feeling Tennessee might be able to do it. Huh. What's the line on that game? Yeah, no hat today. I have a million hats. They're all downstairs. I didn't rock a hat today. I usually do. I was going to rock my white one today. The block white one. Let's see. Louisiana Lafayette takes on Missouri. Texas taking on UTEP, Alcorn State, Mississippi State. How about Mississippi State beating Arizona State? That's the thing. That's why I have that game right there with Mississippi State beating Arizona State. That's why I have such an issue with the playoff formatting system. Think about this. Let's say Arizona State still wins the Big 12, right? They're going to get into the playoffs. And Mississippi State, where would Arizona State be in the SEC? Come on. I don't even know if they'd be mid-tier. Look at my last graphic. Where would Arizona State be? Like 12th? I should probably add Auburn to the list over here. But where would Arizona State be here? Is Arizona State better than Texas, LSU, Oklahoma, Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, Tennessee, A&M, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt? By the way, thanks for the line. So it looks like Georgia is 3.5-point favorite against Tennessee. Gotcha. All right. Appreciate it. See, that's what I'm saying. The LFB inside the comment box. That's the crazy thing. That's what makes me so upset. I'm like, come on. They would be so irrelevant in this conference. A lot of teams would. Does Kobe have a stat? Tennessee's offense doesn't work against Georgia's defense. They haven't thrown a touchdown against them in 4 years. Wow, that's crazy. Tennessee's offense doesn't work against Georgia. They haven't thrown a touchdown. That's crazy. What? Now I know Georgia's going to win. Hey, Ryan, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us, bro. All right, so that's the SEC schedule. All right, here we are, week 3. Alabama taking on Wisconsin. All right. What's your excitement level for this game on a scale of 1 to 10? You like super excited to see how this team fares in week 3? I'm pretty excited about it, to be honest. When I looked at the preseason schedule before the year, I was like, Wisconsin. But I think considering how Alabama's played in week 1 and week 2, I am super excited about this matchup. I want to see, because this will be a team more of a pulse, right? This is a team that is undefeated. This is a team that has a good coach, Luke Fickell. They don't have a lot of firepower, but I'm excited for this matchup. I want to see that continued energy spill over into this game. I want to see the execution on each side of the ball spill over into this game. I want to see this team get some more momentum, right? Oh, yeah, Iowa State, I forgot they're 3-0. Maybe they win the Big 12. By the way, 11 a.m. on ABC. I love that. Give the nation an opportunity to watch Alabama again. Huge stage. And like North Alabama Storm Chase said, it's going to be hot. It'll be like 90 degrees for kickoff. Here's a look at Wisconsin's schedule. You have Miami of Ohio, which they won 17-0. And then I think they were trailing at halftime against Middle Tennessee State before coming back to win by a score of 42-10. Hey, John, I got you the Cash App or Venmo, whichever you sent. I got it. So, this will be their first test as well. And I don't know how much firepower this team really has, right? You have Danny O'Neal, who has 403 yards passing. Dylan Jones, 109 yards rushing. Vinny Anthony, 107. I guess we'll have to see, right? It's only week 2. They've played 2 games, so I don't know. Last year, I thought the game, to be honest, would be a little bit more of a challenge, but Alabama played their best away game last year against Wisconsin. They played fantastic. Remember, that was after the game when Luke Fickell said that they got their ass kicked. That was one of my favorite sound bites of the whole year. Remember when he said that? That was hilarious. I love that. All right, so I have to ask you this, okay? This is my question of the day, all right? Hey, Tolver, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. He says, I'm excited to see if we come out and play like last weekend. And that's kind of like inspired type football, right? Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat. Okay, so my big question for today, and go ahead and post inside the comment box. So you got a couple, you got one person. There's one player that's not on the screen that I think should be added. Someone brought this up to me on the Facebook, all right, page. But in terms of roster risers, who you got? I'll start on the left and work my way to the right. But who else you guys got in terms of roster risers? Could be, if you agree with somebody being on here, then say it. But let me run through this real quick. The first one, I think, my goodness. Yo, Kevin Riley. Oh, my goodness. He's probably, like, if you really wanted to say, like, who are, like, the top 3, performing players right now from, like, the first 2 games of the season, you could probably say Jerry Bernard and then probably Kevin Riley. And I know Ty Simpson, that's coming off. Ty Simpson just threw 17 for 17, but, the first game, a little bit bumpy. Kevin Riley, this guy has been a pleasant surprise. I had no inclination, other than what Coach Kalen DeBoer said, he's got the most kind of shift to him. He's as good as anybody right now at running the football. Very, very talented. In-state guy. Yo, he's from the Tuscaloosa County High School. So Kevin Riley off to an amazing start. Redshirt freshman. And then I was thinking about it because I went, position by position. I was like, you know what? Who else I should add? A.K. Deere. This guy running for a 56-yard tutty against Louisiana Monroe. Man, this guy killing it. That was a great run. And kind of in my opening when I was saying kind of the abundance of talent, right? Is like the youth, right, is there. What if these were the running backs right here? Derek Wilson says, what's up, Derek? I know you're at the game, man. I know a lot of people were at the game. I didn't make it down to the quad. I stayed here. But Derek says this. He's like, Kyle, I was at the game. Wasn't it your birthday, Derek? Didn't you go for your birthday or something like that? Kyle, I was at the game. This team has the potential to beat Georgia. We are ready. I appreciate it, man. Good feedback. Jarvis says, AK was lightning in a bottle. Deer on the loose. He was fast as hell. Because me, if you were on the watch along, I was praying that they get to 70 points because all the other teams got to 70 points. And then he hit it at the end. Okay, now we got to talk about 17. All right. How the hell are you going to keep this guy off the field? How are you going to keep him off the field? Lazier Brooks. I love the way they utilized him, too. They had him in motion a bunch. They got the football to him in creative ways. Ryan Grubb, man. The schematics that he had Saturday, how he was drawing up plays was beautiful. Beautiful. those little jet sweeps to like Jerry Bernard, Lazier Brooks, even how they got Jalen Mbakwe the football on the back end. Yo, could I get a thumbs up inside the comment box for Lazier Brooks? Does he remind you of Waddle? Yes, he does to me. Okay, there. That's it. Is there anyone else he kind of reminds you of? Not really. He just kind of reminds me of Waddle. I like that addition, Jarvis. I thought about adding him too. How are you going to keep Lazier Brooks off the field? I don't know. Because you got to bring Ryan Williams back on. And then I don't know. Good problem to have, clearly, when you have all these wide receivers. Okay. Now let's talk about this dude. Drake Kirkpatrick, I think he might play with the most velocity on defense, right? He's like coming to kill dudes. There's nothing. Look, that's why they wear pads. You're supposed to be able to have bone-jarring hits in football. Now, the targeting, I guess it was targeting, right? I'm not an official. Was that targeting? I guess it was. But Drake Kirkpatrick, yo, this guy, his stock is on the move, straight up. A different player than his pops, but this guy is a hitter, right? Damn, he brings it. They don't forget about Dre. No, man. Stock up right here on Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. Okay, and then I also have to finish out with saying this on the other side. How about Connor Talty? Okay. Going into the season, I had a lot of concerns about the kicker. I think we all did, right? Even Coach Kalen DeBoer was like, meh, he did pretty good this week, or he had his best day from this week. And then he came out in his first kick of his career, right, on the road. He's short. He was short by like 10 yards. Since that point in time, he's 8 of 8, and he's 2 of 2 from field goals, right? The longest of 56. So, Talty coming with it. You know what? Even the punter didn't get work last game, but the punter, Blake Dowd, 3 punts for 144, average of whatever that was. Was it 44 yards against Florida State? He looked pretty good as well. All right, you all are mentioning also for Camp Risers, QB Reese. I saw Jarvis say QB Reese. I thought he looked good. I'm going to ask you as I go through the roster next, should QB Reese be starting at inside linebacker? Or do you think it should be Deontay Lawson? Maybe I'm off base on that. I don't know. Probably. I mean, they keep on starting Deontay, and he's leading the team in tackles. I just thought I saw a little something from QB Reese, all right? Other players, Keon Keeley. Yo, we had our first sighting of Keon Keeley. And he looked pretty good to me. Did he look good to you? Number 31 on defense. He looked good to me. And then I would probably add, I don't know if anyone mentioned it here, but on our Facebook channel, somebody said Michael Carroll. I thought Michael Carroll did a really good job. So maybe 3 more to add: QB Reese, Keon Keeley, and Michael Carroll. You guys saw this graphic, which is one of the top graphics, going around on social media. First time in school history with 3 players recording multi-pass touchdowns in a game. Crazy. All right, the quarterback so far, I'll go full screen on some of these so you can see the stats. I put the stats together for every single player. We'll start with Ty Simpson, 480 yards through 2 games, 5 touchdowns, 66%. Passing, Austin Mack, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 80%. Keelan Russell got his first opportunity, 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. One of the things that I really liked, and I've discussed this, was this big-time throw by Ty Simpson, 35 yards, which was absolute rope, which was a touchdown to Isaiah Horton, one of my favorite plays of this entire game. The other one was when Ty Simpson kind of got loose and used his legs to score. There was a holding call, which, negated the touchdown, but Ty Simpson on a rope, 35 yards. If you had questions about his arm strength, the velocity of how he could get the football out, this was a suit. Look at his body. This was one of my favorite plays right here. You also have Austin Mack, and I put a cannon right here. I don't know how fast he threw this on the play action from the goal line, but this was crazy. It might have been 100 miles an hour. I have no idea. Caleb Edwards, a freshman tight end, ends up catching it. I love the play design. Look at the offensive line, and look at Austin Mack. Big, tall, 6'6", stands up, fires an absolute laser. That was crazy. I don't know how fast he threw. I wonder if they can tell how fast he threw the ball. And then this right here from Keelan Russell. I thought he was going to scramble. He stops about right here, and he finds a wide open Cole Adams right here in the open spot and throws a touchdown. He also threw a beautiful, well-placed ball on this side to MJ Cherwig, right, the wide receiver. That was an amazing – this was a great play, right, instinctual type play. The other one was the arm accuracy and the delivery of the football to a place where no one else could get it. Absolutely loved everything. I talked about Keelan. And when I highlight like a certain quarterback, doesn't mean I'm against one or the other. It's just like, that's what I saw. I was impressed. He threw the ball 6 times, and I was like, this is the future. Not mad about it. Here's the Alabama running back. So go full screen so you can see the stats. Jam Miller's still out. I'm sure we'll get an update if he's going to play against Wisconsin. I would probably save Jam. If he's not 100%, get him 100% for Georgia. Richard Young right now, 15 carries, 45 yards, and a touchdown. Daniel Hill, 6 carries for 23 yards. Dre Washington, 7 for 23. And then two young guys on the right, Kevin Riley, 16 of 100, and AK Deer, 5 for 76. And this guy certainly does look like running back number 1 right now for the Alabama Crimson Tide. As we look to the tight end room, you got Josh Cuevas right here, 5 catches, 45 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then you have Caleb Edwards, 1 catch, 1 touchdown, and then Marshall Pritchett with 2 catches. I have no idea where these guys are at, if they're even playing. Remember the transfers? Remember they took all those tight ends? It looks like the freshman tight ends are the ones that are playing rather than the transfers. And it seems like Caleb Edwards could be another guy that we put on our roster risers. That's not a huge production, but he played a lot in game 1 and in game 2. This guy's good. Way better than I thought he's going to be. All right, here's the wide receivers. And the big question for you and for everybody else is, with the abundance of talent that they have at wide receiver, what are they going to do when Ryan Williams comes back? This guy's playing like an All-American. Isaiah Horton caught his first touchdown pass. Ryan Williams was out. And then when you look to that second tier of wide receivers, Cole Adams is productive. Period. You put him on the field, he's going to produce. He's tough. He catches the football. He's fast. He produces, okay? Rico Scott, haven't seen a large opportunity for him. He got a nice catch in the last game. He has 5 for 53. I thought we'd see a little bit more of him. Jalen Hell, I know he got onto the field against Florida State, but I don't think he's recorded a catch. And then this guy is a superstar, okay? He's a freshman superstar, 4 catches for 58 yards. How do you keep him off? You got to figure out ways to utilize Lazier Brooks. If they don't, it's a waste of talent, to be honest. He's got to play. He has to. You have to play Lazier Brooks. So when you look to kind of the big 3 and Lazier Brooks, and then, throw in these other 2 stars, there's so much talent at wide receiver. It's crazy. Jalen Mbakwe, they got him a catch for 16 yards. Haven't seen Bubba Hampton. I don't know what's going on here. And then Derek Meadows, right? The abundance of talent at receiver is crazy. And you know what? This is the wildest thing. And that's why, when these players transfer out and they go different places, the biggest star in college football, right? You're like, you don't even miss a guy like that because the other guys are that talented. And I have not sold my stock on Ryan Williams, if you're wondering. And if you're out there, you shouldn't either, okay? They'll figure out how to get him the ball. I know the whole slot situation didn't work out. Don't sell on Ryan Williams. This guy has elite playmaking ability that honestly probably nobody else in the room has. So just got to get him the football, maybe put him on the outside, Lazier, or, they'll figure it out. But Ryan, they'll figure out how to get Ryan the football. Starting offensive line, you did see some Jaden Roberts. I think he played in 17 snaps against Louisiana Monroe, but this has been the core of your offensive line. And I think out of all the positions, out of all the units for Alabama football, this one right here, jury's still out for me, to be honest. I don't have 100% confidence in this room yet. I need to see them play Wisconsin. I need to see them play Georgia. I need to see them play South Carolina. I need to see more of these guys, okay? Do you feel the same way? Or was last game enough to be like, yo, we have the offensive line that we want? I still think I have questions about this young man. I have questions about this young man. I do not have questions about Parker Brailsford, who I think is one of the best centers, if not the best center, in the country. Cam Dewberry, he was a player of the week. We got to see that intensity. Geno Vandermark has been a very versatile piece for Alabama. Thank goodness for him. And Jaden Roberts, he got on the field. We need to see if he can crack the starting lineup. But I think if there's any room right now that I still have my reservations about, it's about this group right here. Because if these guys cannot provide the protection for Ty Simpson when you get against tougher competition, we can't have Ty Simpson running all over the field like he was in week 1, okay? So this is still the group that I'm watching. And you know what? To be honest, I like Michael Carroll as a freshman in the small opportunities that we saw. Again, it was against Louisiana Monroe, so what does that really tell us? I don't know. All right, defensive tackles. This guy had one hell of a game, all right, in week 2. Good to see it because he got straight up embarrassed in week 1. Kelby Collins, haven't really seen too much of him. Edric Hill has 42 snaps this season. Other guys in that defensive tackle group, you have Isaiah Faga. Love this guy, to be honest. Steve Mbumwa, we finally saw him on the field. Did you see Mbumwa? Yo, he looked good. I saw him he had 2 tackles in the game against Monroe. And Alabama started London Simmons as a freshman. So if you're wondering about the future of defensive tackle, well, London Simmons, there you go. Freshman starting at D tackle is very impressive, especially over like a guy like this, right? As we look to the bandit position, what are your thoughts on LT Overton so far? 65 total snaps, 3 tackles, and 4 hurries. I saw him chasing down this last quarterback in this last game. And sometimes the guys within the defensive line, they're not going to get the notoriety. That's just not an area that gets, a lot of notoriety unless they get quarterback sacks, which, by the way, does anybody know? Here's some trivia for you. How many quarterback sacks does Alabama's defensive line and linebackers have this year through 2 games? Sound off inside the comment box. 0. I think there's 1 quarterback sack. Is it by Keon Sapp, right? Safety? But that doesn't diminish the play of LT Overton because I do think that he's still quality, 100%. Before I talk about Keon Keeley, I don't want you guys to forget about this young man, Jordan Renaud. Yo, he's very talented, super talented. He plays before Keon Keeley. He does. So he's really number 2 at the Bandit. But Hurry, H-U-R is for Hurry. That's how they have it listed in Pro Football Focus. Keon Keeley gets in this last game. And look, I've been waiting just like you have for 31 to get on the field. I have been. I was impressed. Were you impressed? Yes or no? Just type Y for yes and for no inside the comment box. Were you impressed when Keon Keeley got onto the field against Monroe? I'm going to type yes. I was. I thought he looked fast. I thought he played with intensity. And then it kind of makes you wonder. You're like, well, why isn't he playing more? And I understand, look, LT Overton is the guy there. Maybe he will play more. Shoot, it's been 2 games. It feels like we're in like week 8, right? It's only week 2. Nicole says yes, and she met his mother on Saturday. Oh, that's what's up. Anyway, it was good to see Keon Keeley. Finally got to see him out on the field. Very positive. Haven't got to see Cavante Henry just yet in 2 games. This outside linebacker position, the wolf position, Quay Rusaw, 61 snaps, 2 tackles. It is a little bit interesting that he doesn't have, or these guys don't have quarterback sacks yet. Jaw Latham looks like he was out for that last game. I don't know what the injury is on him. Yanze Pierre. What have you thought on Yanze Pierre? He got to the quarterback last game. It wasn't a sack. He hit his arm. It popped up. Justin Jefferson recorded the interception. Noah Carter got 11 snaps, and Justin Hill has 15 snaps. What do you guys think about 42, Yanzi? All right, looking at the inside linebackers, here's my big question for you, okay? All right? Maybe I'll think about a poll question to ask you guys. Deontay Lawson. Does he seem like he's a liability, or do you think he's good to go? Do you have faith in Deontay Lawson? I need to hear from you. If you've been watching the game, you've been watching the defense. The first game, it seems like he wasn't 100%. He's leading the team in tackles. He has 9 tackles. He's played in 76 snaps. They're giving him opportunities to get there. I personally love him. When he's at his best, he's one of the best in the country, okay? He doesn't look 100% to me, personally. I thought QB Reese looked pretty good. I think he looked maybe like a starter. I wouldn't be mad if QB Reese and Justin Jefferson were my 1 and 2. All right. Justin Jefferson is fast. For an inside linebacker, he's really fast. He's super athletic. But I think you got to put the best guys out on the field, but they're giving him opportunities. But it does seem to me that Deontay Lawson isn't quite there yet, and I don't want Alabama to get caught in bad position, and I think they did against Florida State, and I think Florida State exposed the fact that he wasn't 100% in my opinion. Even Bill O'Brien inside the comment box says he loved Deontay, but he's not 100%. I agree with Bill O'Brien. Thanks for joining us, by the way. I know you're coming off coaching this weekend at BC. Caden Jones, saw him in a couple times, and I still need a little bit more time to evaluate Nakai Hill-Green. He hasn't been somebody to me that is like completely stood out. I think he's been there for quality depth, but so far I would say move him up the ladder from what I saw. Ty, what's up, man? Ty's asking about liability, team and tackles. I think that the first game, Ty, honestly, the first game against a team that had elite speed, he was caught out of position many different times. He really was. Do you guys agree with me? All right, let's talk about the inside linebacker for the freshmen. You got Daryl Duke Johnson, Luke Metz, and Abdul Sanders. These guys have not seen the field just yet. But you talk about like the future of the talent. I mean, Abdul Sanders had a huge spring. He was one of the top linebackers, him and QB Reese, to be honest. Looking at the corners, I think going forward what I'll do is I'll put the corner coverage grade underneath it as well. But so far I have the snap counts and the tackles. So you got Damani Jackson, who has 90 snaps and 8 tackles. Xavier Brown, 90 snaps and 3 tackles. Cam Calhoun, I know he plays a couple different positions, but he has 18 snaps. Dejon Lee, third in that group with 41 snaps. Red Morgan, 28 snaps, and then Chuck McDonald, I don't think he's seen the field just yet. What have you guys thought about Xavier Brown so far? Because, I mean, look, Xavier Brown started every single game. And then we had Dejon Lee, who came in, right? And he looked good in this last game, but he got cooked by Squirrel White, right? So, and that's the thing. That is what, when you look at Alabama's defense, you're like, okay, yeah, shutout. We saw that last year against Missouri. But then, you know, a couple weeks later, you know, was done to them by Oklahoma. So we've done this together a couple different times. And then you have the safeties right here. Oh, I'm sorry. You got Husky. Deshaun Jones, 37 snaps. We already talked about roster riser, who is Drake Kirkpatrick, right? 12 snaps. I think he might be the hardest hitter on the team, like pound for pound, right? And then the safety position, you got Keon Sapp, 80 snaps. You got Bray Hubbard, 85 snaps. Zay Mincy, 35. Cam Howard, 11. And then you got Ivan Taylor with 16. So that's kind of a look at your safeties. Anything stand out from the safeties? Bray Hubbard was just named Player of the Week, right, by Alabama football. Juice Leaks, what's up, dog? I love you too. Hey, and Ty, inside the comment box, you have a difference of opinion, it's welcomed always inside the comment box. So don't think that you have to conform to any type of like ideology when you're inside the chat. Like, if you have a difference of opinion, it's all good, dude. It's all welcomed here. You know, you see different things stand out to everybody. It's all good, man. 100%. And special teams, I think this has been an area that I've been watching as well. You know, it's a critical part of the game. Connor Talty, 8 of 8 on PATs and 2 of 3 on field goals. All right. He missed the first one from like, what was that, 53 yards? That was a tough field goal to go out in the first game of the season. All right, man, you never started before. Go out and kick a 53-yard field goal. All right, coach. And then Blake Dowd, 3 punts, 144. Oh, his average is 48. A couple freshmen, you know, that we want to highlight. These are just guys I have photos of, okay, that in like game action. Keelan Russell. How impressed were you on a scale of 1 to 10 with Keelan Russell? Sound off inside the comment box. Keelan Russell. How impressed with you on a scale of 1 to 10 with Keelan? I'm pretty high to say, to be honest, man. I say like, I don't know, like a 9, maybe a 10. And I don't do 10 out of 10. If you watch my shows, I don't do 10 out of 10 often. I graded Ty way over 10 out of 10 when we talked about him. I'm probably like a 10, I guess. Everyone's and you know what? The thing I love about the Undefeated is they will grade appropriately. And I never have seen so many 10s or over 10s for one of the votes. Look, Naomi says 12.9. Someone said 100. Ryan said 100. Crystal said 100. JTL is asking if I think Lagwell will transfer. Well, that's the thing about Florida is, remember last year we were about to like fire Billy Napier and then he won all those games? I don't know. It's week 2. Toast says 1,000. How about this guy, Lazier Brooks? How impressed with him on a scale of 1 to 10? Probably like a 10. Lazier looked legit. Lazier looked like a player that needs to play all the time. He did. What a tight photo. See, this is why I never want to mess with these jerseys. These guys do not need an alternate or anything, or white helmets. This is beautiful. This is perfect. This is how God wanted it to be. Look at that. Caleb Edwards catching a touchdown. I think this guy's like 265 pounds. All right. Okay. AK Deer. Look at these gloves. Mattress Matt, what's up, dude? I love that name, dude. Mattress Matt. Saban's record first 2 years was 9-8 with loaded rosters. Is this our friend Matt from Mobile? Matt, is this you? You had the call that saved the program. And Dejon Lee. I saw Dejon Lee in this last game fly up on somebody, hit somebody really hard. Did you see that? It was in the later part of the game. All right, and finally, the raffle for today is a jersey. All right, $10 to get you in. Bama_YouTube up top, Cash App, YouTube. All right, so here's the schedule for the rest of the day, okay? We got Coach Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, and Kane Womack at 11:30, and then I'll bring those press conferences here when they're done. So be on, have your heads on a swivel for me to cut those later on today. But before I go, I really need your help. All right, so let me ask you real quick. Tonight, for my more or less picks on Sleeper, and if you use Sleeper, you can get a $100 match up to $100. Use the promo code RTR. So please help me on this real fast. Okay, so for my picks tonight, okay, I'm over here. Will Justin Jefferson score a touchdown? Yes or no? Will Justin Jefferson score a touchdown? Yes or no, Justin Jefferson? What about DeAndre Swift? 14.5 receiving yards, more or less? I think I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say Justin Jefferson touchdown, Swift a touchdown right here. Okay. All right. Reed is saying yes. Thanks, Reed. I appreciate it. And then my last one. This is the most important one for me right here. Okay. I'm trying to go 3 for 3. Caleb Williams. Man, I don't. Does Caleb Williams throw for more than 217 yards? Yes or no? See, Jarvis is right, man. Don't sleep on Sleeper. 100%. All right, so we got Swift is saying for sure. Cam is saying yes. All right, so 3 for 3, basically, right? 3 for 3. Okay. I got you. Remember, when you download Sleeper, use the promo code RTR if you want to make more or less picks. It's really fun. Fantasy football, I use it all the time. Real-time stats, updates. 100%. The only one that said no so far is Juice, but everybody else is on board with yes. So download Sleeper. You want to make more or less picks like I do, use the promo code RTR. Terms and conditions apply. Available 25 states. I hope you guys had a great show. Thank you so much for joining me today on Monday, September 8th. Kyle Anderson, Bama Football on YouTube. So appreciative of the super chats, for you guys getting in the raffles, and just supporting me right here on the channel. Remember, inside the comment box, that's your opinion, right? And I always welcome different opinions. I appreciate everybody inside the comment box. That's why I say what's up to everybody that's joining the show. Hey, we're in week 3, and it feels like we're in like week 10, right? Alabama versus Wisconsin this Saturday, 11 a.m. Coach Kalen DeBoer's press conference. I'll get it loaded to the channel, after he's done talking to the media right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys had a killer show. I know I had a really good time. Thanks for kicking it with me today right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Have a beautiful rest of your day. And as news happens, more videos will be uploaded. Hit the notification bell so you see all the videos that are coming out that I'm hitting. And remember to join our Facebook channel, which is basically like my website, right? And the Facebook channel is popping. I had like, I don't know, 10 million views or something like that within the last 30 days. It's crazy. So go over there, check it out. I'll be back as news happens. Have a good rest of your morning. I'll catch up with you soon right here on Bama Football on YouTube.